I can keep going and going. It's a mockery. Stop making a mockery of the sport. And especially, stop making a mockery of the Chavez last name. The father should be putting his foot up their ass already.
Welcome, fight fans, to another edition of Boxing Scene's Top Stories, only on ProBox TV, your boxing channel. I'm George DeMatteis. Quick reminder to download the app, the ProBox TV app, where apps are available to get the full ProBox TV experience, which includes our world champions. We have Chris Algieri, Paulie Malignaggi, and joining us is ESPN analyst, Hall of Famer Tim Bradley, here on Top Stories. Well, over the weekend in Pachuca, Mexico, there was a big dispute over some weight issues by super middleweight Omar Chavez, the 34-year-old journeyman son of Mexican legend Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., which led to a huge argument from Chavez Sr., who targeted trainer Robert Garcia as his fighter who made weight, Misael Chino Rodriguez, for canceling the bout over the younger Chavez, blowing over the next day weight limit by nearly 10 pounds. The younger Chavez blowing over the next day weight limit. Now, Garcia, in a video interview, said that he was protecting his fighter, and that's more important than the bullying tactics of Chavez Sr., who stormed into their locker room and pressured them to take the fight. Now, Garcia says he was also threatened by others connected with the promotion with arrest if they didn't get into the ring, and they did not get into the ring. Now, Garcia said the younger Chavez delayed even getting on the scale for nearly 3 hours as his friends urged Garcia to take the fight anyway. All right, Chris, what are your thoughts on this madness, and should Chavez Sr. be kind of scolded there for that reckless behavior?
Only in Mexico could you be arrested for not taking a fight.
Threatened with arrest.
Threatened with arrest for not taking a fight. And I mean, listen, this is kind of clickbaity. I think it's probably more interesting, the argument between Chavez Sr. and Robert Garcia, than actual Omar Chavez fight at this point. But in terms of, from what I understand, both fighters made the weight. The second day weigh-in was blown by Omar Chavez. And I'll tell you this about Robert Garcia, who I know very, very well and has been in my corner before, and I've seen how he's worked with his fighters before. He doesn't care. He protects his fighters. If he has a funny feeling about something going on during a fight, before a fight, after a fight, he has no problem walking away, and that's obvious here. And you're not going to bully a guy like Robert Garcia, who's been around for a very long time, been a former world champion. He's one of the best trainers in the world today, looking at possibly being trainer of the year this year in particular. So I don't think Robert is going to be bullied or persuaded to do something that he doesn't feel comfortable doing, and he cares about his charges. He cares about his fighters. And in terms of, the Chavez camp, man, I've worked Chavez fights, the Chavez boys. I've worked Chavez Sr., and he had his boys on the undercard. I think Omar was on that card as well. And there's always drama surrounding. Coming in 3 hours late to the weigh-in, that doesn't surprise me. Coming in blowing in the next day weigh-in doesn't surprise me. These are the kind of things that oftentimes happen with the Chavez boys, which is very interesting because Chavez Sr. is generally all class, and as when I worked that fight, he showed up on time. He's underweight. Everything was good in that sense. But the boys were not. And like I said, in terms of what this is all about, I would rather see Robert Garcia argue with Chavez Sr. than actually watch an Omar Chavez fight at this point.
Interesting. All right, Paulie, what are your thoughts about the madness in this situation, and has anything similar happened to you before in your career?
I don't know. No, nothing like this ever happened to me. I actually knew how to make weight, but man, where do I even start here? First of all, I'm going to touch on what the champ said about Robert Garcia being a guy who is class and getting his fighters' backs. This is what I love about Robert Garcia. There's too many ex-fighters who, once they go on the other side of the business, they become part of the charge that starts taking advantage of fighters, manipulating money, manipulating fighters. Robert Garcia never lost his identity as a former fighter. You can see that it breathes out of him in the way he protects and looks out for his fighters and really, I'd say, loves his fighters. Those, I've heard of those gym wars like crazy over in Oxnard, but that's to make you better. On fight night, in the fight, Robert Garcia is literally with all his heart into you, to the point where if he's got to not get paid because he's got to pull his charge out for the safety, that's what he did. So kudos to Robert Garcia there, because not too many people would do that. I'm telling you, there's a lot of guys, even ex-fighters that I've seen in this business, they manipulate fighters, they steal, they do whatever. It's like almost like they forgot completely what it's like to be on the other side of it. So guys like Robert Garcia deserve a lot more credit than you realize, because it's too many people that forget that about that. So kudos to Robert Garcia, who also is an ex-world champion. Wasn't just your average fighter, you know what I mean? He was also an ex-world champion as a fighter. Going into with Chavez Sr., for example, is so great as far as legendary status, and deservedly so. One of the most amazing fighters to ever lace on a pair of boxing gloves. It's so rare that somebody is actually so good that his sons who suck become good in your eyes. Like, he has so much of a, he has so much, the aura of Chavez. And I'm not even saying this is wrong, because he was that great. I mean, if you remember, anybody who's seen Chavez Sr.'s career and remembers his career, he was of that greatness, generally regarded as the best Mexican fighter ever, right? He is so good, though. But rarely, you have a lot of ex-world champions that, their kids end up fighting, and, you judge them, their kids, based on the last name to a degree, but then their kids have to live up to it. This guy's sons lived up to nothing. They've been an embarrassment the whole time. Omar spends more time arguing with me on Instagram. I got a post where I was making fun of his brother, and he decided to comment on it and try to start an argument with me. Bro, stop eating! Stop eating, bro! You're making a mockery out of the last name. And here is where I gotta fault the father. The fact that he was arguing over this, he's enabling his sons. Okay? He shouldn't have been arguing about this. He should have been kicking his son in his ass. Tell him, what'd you eat last night? What'd you eat, 7 pizzas? How are you 10 pounds over the weight? Like, remember, this is the rehydration clause. You get a certain amount of weight in the rehydration clause. So to show up 10 pounds over what you were contracted to be in the rehydration, if this is what I'm hearing correctly, bro, that's bananas, bro. That means you can get about 10 pounds. What do you show up, 20 pounds overweight? I don't know. If this is what I'm understanding, and I'm not misunderstanding, this is bananas. But again, it doesn't surprise me, bro. They both blow weight. The other one fails PED tests. They show up like fat slobs all over the place. Then in case they don't get knocked out, they rob the opponent, which would have probably happened in this fight too, because the Mexican commission is threatening to arrest the guy for honoring the contract. You might imagine. So if you're threatening to arrest the guy for honoring the contract, you had no intention of giving him a decision, even if he would have won, right? I mean, it's to that level at least. I can keep going and going. It's a mockery. Stop making a mockery of the sport. And especially stop making a mockery of the Chavez last name. The father should be putting his foot up their ass already. That's it. I'm done.
Did he make the limit?
He made weight. He didn't make the rehydration weight. If you signed the contract.
Okay.
What do you want me to tell you?
Okay. I get it. I get the principles behind the signing contract, but he made weight. He shrunk his body down to make the weight, right?
So how do you show up this heavy? What did he take 20 bags of IV? How do you even gain that much weight?
Hold up. There's fighters all the time, right? There's fights where there's no rehydration clause, okay? And fighters come in, they make the weight that it's supposed to, and they blow up astronomical numbers. 20 pounds, 25 pounds, 15 pounds. And the fight still goes on. I mean, for me, I think this shit is soft. I mean, I understand that they had a stipulation in the contract. However,
then don't agree to it. Don't sign that contract. It's a free country.
But now but I'm just saying, it's not like it's never happened. That's all I'm saying. And it's like, yo, you're here to fight. No one's going to get paid if this fight doesn't go on. My guy's not going to get paid. Your guy's not going to get paid. It's not like it's never happened before. It has. It happens all the time in boxing. There's never, in most fights, there's no rehydration clause unless you deal with the Tank Davis or this guy.
Tim, but there was.
I understand
so then
there
don't
was.
sign that contract. It's a free country. Don't sign the contract. Nobody told you to sign the contract.
I get it. Yeah, there was a contract. But however, like you said, balls. Have some damn balls, because this has been done before, man. And that's all I'm saying. Like, yo,
now we're gonna quote me. Now we're gonna quote Step Brothers. Let's do this. Nah, it's been done before. Yeah, this has been done before. I get it, but don't sign the contract. You know what? When they present you that contract, they say, you know what? There's a rehydration clause. Be like, bro, you know what? I want to be a fat slob, and I want to gain weight after the weigh-in. That's it. But how do you show up 10 pounds over? How do you show up that much over? You can kind of know. You kind of know when you're getting too full. You kind of know when you've added too many bags of IV, if that's what you're doing. You kind of know a little bit, bro. He didn't just miss it. If what we're hearing is correct, 10 pounds, gee, is that what you heard? Was that what you read? 10 pounds above the rehydration clause. Bro, that's bananas. That's bananas.
This generation of fighters,
bro, this generation has weigh-ins 2 days before at this point. We're almost 2 days before. The weigh-ins in the morning of the day before. That's too much. If we're gonna go generation to generation and make the weigh-ins the day of the fight, everybody will go up and wait, and that's it. Yeah, let's just do it that way. Then you end these controversies.
Paulie, all I'm saying is that it's been done before. It's been done. Every other fight, there's no rehydration clause, but they had it in the stipulation. I get that Robert Garcia is somewhat protecting his fighter. That's what he's doing. However, man, when you look at it, I think it was a bad move. He should have fought the fight, even 10 pounds or not.
But how is it every single time these guys fight?
That they had.
How is it every single time these guys fight that it's a problem? Well, every single time. There's always something with these guys, almost every single time. You know what I mean? It's always a problem. His brother's missing weight, his brother's missing PD tests, his brother's quitting, this kid shows up overweight, they both blow weight. Bro, what are we doing over here? How does the father get mad at Robert Garcia instead of kicking his son in his ass and be like, bro, you did it again? Really? You did it again?
Well, look, all I can tell you is that the reason why he was mad, because then the show doesn't go on. The main event doesn't go on. That's the reason why he's upset about it. And
I'm not effing leaving. Show goes on. That's what Chavez said.
It would have been different. Look, for me, it would have been different if he would have not made weight, right? And then came in 10 or 15 pounds over the weight limit or whatever. If you put a stipulation in that. However, this is different. This dude made the weight, man. He squeezed his body down to make that weight.
Champ, you can't say that because you were just talking about that Haney has no right to sue Garcia for doing that. Now you're saying if he didn't make the weight and then he showed up overweight, then you can't say that.
Wait. No, you're taking it out of context, Paulie. You didn't hear me. If Ryan Garcia would have made the weight 140-pound limit, then it would have been all good, everything else. But he didn't.
If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle, though. He didn't make the weight. That's why Haney's suing him. To go on.
Hold up. Haney is suing for the drugs. That's what he's suing for. The performance enhancement drugs. That's what he's suing for. He's not suing for the 3 pounds. He got paid for the 3 pounds. So what I'm telling you is that Garcia didn't make that 140-pound limit. This guy did. And he blew up 10 pounds past, I guess, what they had, the stipulation, which is normal because every other fight is like that.
You know what?
Haney will come in. Wait up, hold up. Haney will come in freaking 160 pounds the night of the fight, man. And he fought at 140 pounds, 20 pounds over the limits, and guys still have to fight him.
You know what, Tim?
That's just what it is.
Tim, you're making me think while you're going. And this is what I love about having this job over here. You talk, and I start thinking more and more and more, and I get more ideas. Stop making the weigh-ins at 9 a.m. the day before the fight. Stop. This is what happens. You're going to give guys more time to hydrate, more time to gain weight. You're making a mockery of the whole weigh-in process. Make the weigh-in the night before, 5 p.m., 6 p.m. And, make the commission actually work past 5 p.m. for once in their life.
I agree. You know what, Paulie, I actually agree with that.
This way nobody can gain too much weight.
I mean, that's how our fights always work. When I was coming
When I turned pro, that's how it was. Then in the middle of my career, it went to lunchtime. Then after I retired, it became breakfast the morning of, and they have a mock weigh-in at lunchtime instead, where they've already waited 4 hours before. You're making a mockery of that too. The commissions are.
But in regards to this particular case, I think we're missing context and we're missing some details. This strikes me as something, Paulie, when you said it earlier about you're not going to win a decision over there. It seems to me that Robert was just catching wind with everything that was going on. 3 hours late to the weigh-in, the blowing the weight, getting people coming up to you and being like, you got to take this fight. You can't bully a guy like Robert. So I'm not so sure, like Tim, like you're saying, it's like, all right, get your balls on, let's fight, whatever. But listen, if you're in a bad situation on enemy territory, I can understand why you wouldn't want to step into that ring.
And let me tell you, it's also good that it's Robert Garcia, who's a Mexican-American, who understands the culture. What if it was like a guy from Ireland who you're threatening to arrest? He doesn't know any better. He's like, oh, man, okay. You would have bullied him into it. Yeah. The only reason you weren't able to bully him into it is because Garcia is a Mexican-American, and he's familiar with the culture over there. He understands so he can push back.
Robert has balls, and he's not going to be pushed and bullied into doing something that he doesn't feel comfortable doing. Even if he wanted the fight. He could just make it a stand. Be like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm not doing this.
You know what? Those are some good points, guys. Those are some really good points. I actually thought of that. However, I still believe that he should have took the fight. And I only say that because it happens normal. It's a normal type of situation here. There's nothing wrong with this situation. I understand the stipulation. I get it. Yes, the principle. However, the fight didn't go on. Your guy didn't get paid any money. You know what I mean? What are we doing it for? He's getting paid. He needs to get paid his money. That's what it is, both guys. And so the show didn't continue. So this can come back and backfire on Robert Garcia when his fighter is up in a different venue this time. You know, promoters going to look at this and say, I don't know if we want to have this kid on our show. If things are not perfect the way they should be, this kid is not gonna fight. So it could come back and backfire Robert Garcia and his pupil.
Or Robert sets a standard. If your fighter's fighting my guy, you're not gonna miss any part of the contract, and you're done. So if you're gonna sign a contract with a Robert Garcia fighter, make sure you have a responsible fighter who's gonna honor the contract.
Well, certainly an interesting situation there in Mexico regarding this whole fight, and Chavez and Rodriguez and Robert Garcia as well. And of course, we will keep you up to date on any further developments on this wild story here on Boxing Scene's Top Stories. Just a reminder, scan the QR code, like, subscribe, and comment to our YouTube channel. We also want to remind you that the best live fight series in all of boxing continues October 16th with Wednesday night fights delayed because of the situation with Hurricane Milton. And then 3 days later after that, it will be the IBF Super welterweight title bout between Bakram Murtazaliev against Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu fighting for the belt there October 19th in Orlando on Prime Video. That should be a great fight there. We'll see if Tim Tszyu can get back to winning and reclaim a world title. And also, ProBox TV is going to Europe November 1st in Belfast, Northern Ireland. You can watch this card on ProBox TV, the YouTube channel, on the app, or if you have the means, fly to Northern Ireland and watch it live in Belfast. Should be a great card November 1st here on ProBox TV, your boxing channel. I am George DeMatteis, and this is Boxing Scene's Top Stories.
Wednesday Night Fights.
Dynamite action on Wednesday Night Fights every other Wednesday on your boxing channel.
Coming up on your next Wednesday Night Fights, October 16th. Chris, Primetime Colbert, and Omar Super Salcido step into the ring for what is sure to be a barn burner. Live from the ProBox Event Center in Plant City. Get your tickets at ProBoxTV.com or take your chances at the door. Wednesday Night Fights.
For more ProBox TV, scan the QR code on the screen or go to the App Store and Google Play. ProBox TV, your boxing channel.